Hello and welcome back to THL 2018 round 11. It takes us to Germany here. So yeah, so I'm 2 weeks late on this video. Yeah, I just really haven't had the time to really upload these sort of videos in the last few weeks. Of course, as well, just really struggling with the game as always. But yeah, this race was 2 weeks ago now, and you know, on the back, just before this, we had quite a disappointing race in GP. We were competing for a podium until our tyres sort of degraded very quickly from lap 6 onwards, which sort of yeah, we lost so much time in the last 3 laps of our stint that yeah, it was just impossible to get any good position out of that. So this race, you can see it's in the wet, so we're actually hoping for much more now, and you can see already we're quite a bit up on our previous personal best lap, and you can see we're currently 7th, but of course in the wet I'm really hoping for a much better result because I am so strong in the wet. Of course, if you followed me back in season 14, which is quite a long time ago now, I was actually, the only races I was really winning in AOR season 14 was in the wet, and I was winning them quite dominantly. So again, it sort of just suits the pad a bit more, the wet, and although they've sort of balanced it out, I still think out of all the conditions, the pad still is better in the wet than the wheel. But you can see, again, we're over a second up now, and right now we're actually good enough for P2, and our qualifying has been really good this game, just our race pace, so hopefully we can get another really good qualifying result as I actually lose the car, and we're going to get a corner cutting warning, and that really annoyed me, because yeah, just like that, and yeah, our lap was ruined as the start next lap. Unfortunately, we weren't able to improve as well. So as you can see, we're actually going to go into the wall, and gosh, yeah, this is quite annoying. Again, the traction on that first corner, very difficult. So yeah, you can see Jaeger, brilliant qualifying. I probably wouldn't have been able to touch him. Of course, him on the pad as well. I probably could have slipped in front of Kozia though, because I definitely had the pace. I mean, you saw I was a second and a half up on that lap, and that would have been enough to put me P2. But alas, we will be starting P9, although it will also be in the rain for the race. And yeah, I was really looking forward to this. Intermediate conditions we're finishing on. So yeah, it should be really interesting, and hopefully I can make my way through the field and have quite an interesting race. So yeah, here we go now. I'd like to, and away we go. We get a really good start. We're going to actually jump Ocular, and for the first time this season, we actually do get a good start. Normally we get really terrible starts, but we're going to get 1, if not 2 people into the first corner. We're going to try to get Sanyets, but Sanyets defends from us quite well. We couldn't actually hold it around his outside. You can see we can't actually see what's going on up ahead, so we're going to break early. We've got our championship rival Ventrox just ahead of us, but you can see, yeah, again, he's just trying to keep it in the line. We sort of have to break a bit to avoid him. You can see Oculus is now going to try to get us back as the 2 up ahead begin to disappear from us. But yeah, as you know, I was actually fighting for the title a few rounds ago, but I've had really bad luck in the last few rounds. So now I'm just really trying to defend P3 from Ventrox, who has been the faster guy the last few races. But you're going to see we're going to try to go around the outside, and you can see he gets a bit tagged, and we're going to use that opportunity to go around his outside. We've actually lost a lot of time to the guys ahead. But yeah, we managed to get him just about. But yeah, a bit of argy-bargy there as he sort of, I think, touches the back of Sanyets. He went a bit sideways. So you can see actually momentarily Ocular will get past him, even though knowing Ventrox, he'll probably be on the back of us quite quickly. And yeah, now it's just about trying to maintain the gap with the leaders. I had a perfect start, 3 positions on the opening lap, sort of reminiscent of my Austria start, and so I'm hoping for better luck in Austria, in which I was sort of crashed out from the lead. But now from 6th place, although it isn't that good right now, I definitely now have the pace, and you can see Ventrox and I are actually matching almost the fastest laps of Jaeger and Kozia. You can see they're pulling away a bit, but we're actually gaining quite quickly on Sanyets and the 2 Red Bulls ahead of him. So a podium is still on the cards, and you can see, yeah, that once again, for like I think the 4th or 5th race in a row, you can see a top 6 clearly emerging from the rest of the field. And luckily we are part of that top 6, especially for the early part of the stint. And right now I'd actually put money on myself to actually be one of the fastest in this top 6. You can see we're right on the back of Sanyets, but this is where the dirty air starts to kick in, and it's absolutely terrible in this game, the dirty air. So it's all about trying to just keep with him now, while trying to just get past him. But again, it's hard to overtake in the wet, and the dirty air makes it practically impossible through this section. But just again, trying to make sure that we're going to keep it. As you can see, we actually get a slight corner cut. Just trying to avoid him there. Noticing he actually breaks quite early on that corner, so that's something to bear in mind in the next few laps. You can see he goes wide, and we're going to try to make this an opportunity to get a good run on him. But again, you can see he gets just enough traction, and I don't think we're going to get him on the straight. So if we actually skip on to yeah, the end of the straight, you can see yeah, he's just pulled away from us now. So there's no point really trying to make a move now, but just trying to make a move maybe next lap or so if I can get close enough. But you can see you've got Ventrox right behind me as well, so start trying to keep him at bay as well, just trying to keep it clean. I mean, I have a tendency to get quite a lot of penalties. So, yeah, just trying to keep it clean and keep it in P6 right now. But, yeah, you can see there's definitely opportunities. The Red Bulls, you can actually see them now, but Sanchez goes wide again, nearly collecting him this time, and it's crucial we get past him now. He's definitely holding Ventrox and I up, and you can see the Red Bulls are starting to pull. But, yeah, even Kozzy is getting reeled in by the Red Bulls, and Jaeger isn't too far ahead himself, so I know if I can get past him quickly, providing my tyres actually hold up this week, I can actually fight near the front. As you can see, we're going to try to get Sanyets, but Sanyets is going to get traction around the outside, so he defends his position. Again, in the wet, sort of karting lines are sort of giving so much better traction, as we saw in 2016, when Max Verstappen took Rosberg around the outside, so there's nothing I can really do on the inside line, as we get our first or second penalty. But this time we're going to try to get Sanyets, we're going to pull to the inside, he's going to defend on the outside, we're going to have to try to break as late as possible, but he's actually going to try to break later, and yeah, just I probably broke a bit too early, because you can see now, although I've got the inside line, he's going to have the traction on the outside, and that's what I was saying about the karting line. And yeah, I'm going to have to back out of this corner to make sure I don't crash with him. But yeah, again, he's still defensive, so I'm going to try to use this opportunity for the cutback, sort of set myself up for sector 3, because I can definitely make the move this lap, and we're actually already approaching intermediate conditions. So yeah, it's crucial I make this move now, as we're going to try to, you see, he actually goes a bit wide on the brake a bit too late, and yeah, I don't know, I mean, I broke where the racing line told me to brake, but I think the fact that he didn't really, Sanders didn't really apex the corner, and I went in a bit too hot. I think it's mostly my fault, and yeah, I've got the damage as a result, but I was really, really frustrated with that, because I was stuck behind them for so long, and you can see they're all in the pits now for intermediates, so if I'd just been a bit more cautious, I could have been right in this race, right behind him really. Actually, he's in a salvo, I probably could have jumped him in the pits easily, and that would have been, I'll be effectively P5, and this is the right lap to pit on, so I would actually vouch myself to actually jump the guy ahead, but now I've basically got a 14-second loss after, of course, the wing damage, being sideways, and Ventrox, unfortunately, is also going to have wing damage. But you can see the car's driving really nice in the inters, so yeah, if I just pit in the same lap as Sanyut, I could have definitely gained a few positions. So again, it's just, yeah, it's just half of my bad luck's been by my own errors, really, but yeah, it's just not helping really this season, considering every point counts. But we're going to get Diego Montero up the inside. We're going to have to take a warning for that, because I just didn't want to crash into him. You can see Ventrox actually comes out ahead of us, even with a wing change. Of course, he was able to sort of drive on after he was a bit sideways. But yeah, we're just right behind him right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get him quite quickly, considering we are pretty fast in the wet. I mean, Sandwich was really sort of holding us back, and I felt I could really attack the guys in front. I mean, I'm absolutely craving for my next win, considering I've only got a few more races left in this league. I mean, I'll probably head on. I mean, I'm already doing other games in the meantime over this game, but I probably will start recording those said other games after I finish this season. But for the time being, it's just about getting every point possible, and we're going to be back up into 6th place. But I think that's the furthest we're going to rise, as we actually managed to get Ventrox, as you saw the lap before. Sorry, I forgot to sort of mention that. And yeah, as a result, we slowly began to pull away from them, and we're actually closing in on Sanyets up ahead. But yeah, the 14-15 second gap we had to him was insurmountable, as Jaeger finally pits. He's the last to pit there on lap 11. So and you can see Wattmaster now going the fastest. So yeah, Wattmaster actually began to bridge the gap to Jaeger and Kozia. They had a 3-way scrap for the lead, and yeah, considering Wattmaster and Sanyut sort of pit the same lap as me, I definitely think I could have been maybe not as fast as Wattmaster, but top 4 as at a minimum, and that would have been crucial for me, just getting points over Ventrox. But now I've basically got, I think I've at this point got more penalties than Ventrox, and he's still within about 6 seconds of me, as we're going to get another corner cutting penalty, which is quite frustrating, because that corner was very hard to get right. You can see there's some yellow flags there, so I don't know what that's for entirely. But again, we're slowly edging our gap over Ventrox, so we're doing well, and we skip on to lap 16. That gap is ever increasing, and the gap to Sanyuts is slowly decreasing, just not fast enough for my liking, and it's only going to get worse as our tyres get worse. But you can see as we head on to lap 21, this is our pit lap, as we lap, I think, one of the Mercedes, giving him so much room. I'm nearly onto the grass, just not wanting to make a mistake at this point, because even so 8 points isn't too much, it's still 2 points over Ventrox, and at this point, as long as we can keep the gap to him, we will overtake him for P3 in the championship. So yeah, that's something to sort of cling on to. But again, just sort of trying to
We keep ahead of him as we go into the pits now, and I think Ventrox should follow us in. As you can have a minimum, he's actually going to stay out, so it's crucial now we get a really nice undercut in order to sort of stretch the gap and to get a slight lag spike, not major, nothing like AOR Season 14 Japan, but again we're going to change our tyres. Quite a good pit stop, much better than the last one of course, as we'd have to change the front wing. And yeah, we're coming out in P7. And yeah, we can only really hope for P6 now. I mean, the top 5, which means the whole top 7 to be honest, we're so consistent now that you can see after all the damage and the extra pit stop, we are still P7. So it's basically, we're in a race of our own pretty much, but still the top 5 are just a bit too far away from for us to really get onto the back of them. Even so, that wasn't going to deter me as I set the fastest lap. Definitely showing I have the pace, but Ken getting another warning. And at this point, I was getting a bit annoyed because, of course, in France, I had tons of penalties and I lost like 2-3 positions as a result. So, again, I don't want to that to be the case, as you're going to get another penalty. And this is not looking good at this point. This is beginning to dry out. But you can see as well, the gap to Sanyets is absolutely dropping. As Ventrox is also picking up his pace, he's actually beginning to close us down a bit. The gap between me and Ventrox was 7, now it's 5.5. And the gap to me and Sanyets was about 15. And as we go now, it's now 6.7. So, even so, we're not going to have enough laps to catch him. In the last few laps, I was really hunting down Sanyets. And, yeah, I mean, and you can see Pink Too High, actually, no, I think that's Pink Too High just ahead of him. It might be one of the lap cars, and we're going to have to try to get past these 2 lap cars here. They're luckily not going to fight us for track position, but yeah, if that's Pink Too High right ahead of him, I definitely fancy my chances considering I've closed him down so much, and so I imagine that isn't, because Pink Too High was actually going quite fast towards the end. So yeah, easy P5, I would say that now. It depends on Ventrox because he is fast, but as long as I kept it clean, if I could have got P5, maybe higher, as yeah, you can see Pink Too High actually is a bit further ahead than I thought of Sanyets. But again, as we go into the final sector, the gap nearly 5 seconds. But Ventrox as well is going to close us down to 3.5, and I can say that I think I've got 15 seconds of penalties, and Ventrox has got 9. So yeah, unfortunately, we are going to lose out to Ventrox for P6. But Jaeger wins the race. A brilliant race from Jaeger to beat Kozio, who's been so dominant. And yeah, considering I've been matching Jaeger in sort of terms of quali recently, and it's just so much better in the race. So kudos to him, and yeah, well done to our teammate who gets another win. Even though it's been the first of, actually, I think the last time he got a win was all the way back in China, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe yeah, so he's done really well to sort of bounce back. And actually, no, he won Austria, and you can see he wins again, and that's going to be really good for his title prospects. Of course, he's battling with Kostia. Yeah, meanwhile, I'm just trying to prop up the constructors, but you can see the results. Walkmaster second, Kostia third, Pink Too High fourth, Sanyets fifth. Ventrox will get me in terms of penalties, and I'll be 7th. But yeah, the top 7 way ahead of everyone else. But as you have a look at the drivers' standings, you can see we actually lose a tiny bit of ground to Ventrox, but it's still easily, we're still there battling for P3. I'm just worried about Sanyets now, who's been very consistent, even so we're fasting him in the wet. Him and Walkmaster have just been really consistent in their finishes, and you can see Jaeger and Kozia now well ahead of everyone else. But Jaeger got a 45-point gap now, so he must be chuffed after that. And in terms of the constructors, I can't say I'm really contributing to the constructors too much now. I haven't had many good results recently, and Jaeger's sort of carrying us there. But that's going to be it. See you next time, and hopefully you should get that video up in the next few days, because I've been quite disorganized recently. Anyway, see you next time.